Hi everyone. In last class, we have discussed MCQ on research methodology. So now in this video, we shall discuss 50 MCQ. In each video, I am discussing regarding research methodology MCQ question with answer. So in first video from 1 to 50 MCQ I have solved, and in second video 50 to 100, and third video part 3 video that is from 101 to 150. Now we shall discuss from 151 to 200. So it is helpful for PhD entrance exam. So this is the first question. Facts, figures and other relevant materials serving as basis for a study is called. So facts, figures and other relevant materials serving as a basis for study, that is called as what? That is called as data. Okay. So facts, what are the facts and what are the figures and other relevant materials is, that is a serving as a basis for a study is called what? Data. Next, there are mainly dash sources of data. So how many sources of data there are mainly two sources of data. Next question is the original source from which researcher collects information. So the original source from which researcher collects information is, the answer is primary source. Source of data collected and compiled by others is called. So source of data collected and compiled by others. So already data is available. Okay. So that source of data is already collected and compiled by others is called what? It is called as secondary. Data related to human beings are called. So that is called as demographic data. So whichever the data related to human beings are called as demographic data. Data related to geophysical characteristics are called, that is territorial data. So data which is related to geophysical characteristics are called territorial data. Dash is the raw materials for analysis. So what is the raw materials for analysis? That is data is a raw material for analysis purpose. Next, ready-made and readily available data is, that is secondary. So already someone will be collected data. Okay, that is called ready-made and readily available data. That is a secondary. The way or mode of gathering data is, so how you search the data, the way or mode of gathering that data, okay, collecting the data, so that is called as method. Okay, the answer is method. An instrument used in method is called, so an instrument used to collect a data is called, or an instrument used in method is called, what it is? The answer is tool. Observation is a physical and dash activity. So observation is a physical and mental activity. Social science research begins and ends with observation, that is stated by, who said that social science research it begins and ends with the observation? So it is stated by Sidney Webb. So remember, Sidney Webb said that social science research begins and ends with the observation. Next question. In a dash observation, researcher is a part of observation. So any, it may be the any type of research. Somewhat he may talk taken any topic. Okay. In a dash observation researcher is a part of observation. What it is? Participant observation. Okay. In a participant observation, researcher is a part of observation. Next, in a dash observation, researcher stands apart and does not participate. Here is a part of observation, that is participant observation. Here the answer is non-participant observation. Researcher stands apart and does not participate. Next question is observation of an event. Observation of an event personally by the observer is dash. What it is? Direct observation. Observation of an event personally by the observer. Okay, personally by the observer. So the answer is it is a direct observation. Next, camera, tape recorder, videotape, etc. are dash devices of observation. So what it is? It is a mechanical devices of observation. Observation is of no use in collecting dash. What it is? Past events. Okay. So observation is of no use in collecting the past events. A two-way systematic conversation between an investigator and respondent is called, what it is called as interview. So a two-way systematic conversation, it is a conversation between an investigator and respondent. That is called as what? That is called as interview. Interview with a detailed standardized schedule is called, what it is called? It is a structural interview. So interview with a detailed standardized schedule for this time to this time, like this. Okay, detailed schedule. So that we call it as a structural interview. Next question, an interview in which interviewer encouraged the respondent to talk freely about a given topic is, so it is a structural interview. In structural interview, the he will encourage the respondent to talk freely about a given topic. Okay, so that is a structural interview. Interview which require probing is called, it is a depth interview. So in-depth interview, it requires a probing. The friendly relationship between interviewer and respondent is called rapport. The friendly relationship between interviewer and respondent. Okay, so interviewer and respondent, and that is called as what? It is called as rapport. So inadequate response, interviewers bias, non-response, etc. is the limitations of what? It is the limitations of interview. That is inadequate response, interviewers bias, non-response, etc. is the limitations of interview. An example of non-personal method of data collection is a telephone interview. An example of non-personal method of data collection is a telephone interview. It is a non-personal method of data collection. A method of collecting primary data in which a number of individuals with a common interest interact is called, what it is called? It is a group interview. So a method of collecting a primary data. So while collecting a primary data, so in which a number of individuals with a common interest interact. Okay, here itself answer is the individuals with a common interest interact is called, that is called as what? It is called a group interview. Sending questionnaire to a respondent with a request to complete and return by post is called. They are saying that sending questionnaire to a respondent. Okay, with request to complete and written by post is called mail survey. Okay, it is called a mail survey. Next, schedule is used as a tool. Schedule is used as a tool. Schedule is filled by what? It is a filled by enumerator. Schedule is used as a tool. Schedule is filled by a enumerator, and here sending questionnaire to a respondent with the request to complete and written by post is called what? Mail survey. Remember, this schedule is used as a tool. Schedule is filled by enumerator. Questionnaire is filled by a respondent. Okay, you can remember like this. Okay, questionnaire is filled by a respondent. Schedule is filled by a enumerator. Questions which allow only a few alternate way of answering is called. It is called as structural questions. Questions which allow only few alternate way of answering. We cannot answer in different ways or in a many ways. In only few alternate way of answering. Okay, that is called as a structural questions. Questions in which only two alternatives are possible is called. It is called as here few alternative ways of answering, that is a structural. Here which only two alternatives are possible, that is a dichotomous questions. Dichotomous questions. Questions which you remember difficult. Okay. Two alternative ways, two alternatives are possible is called as a it is dichotomous. Questions which seek information is called, that is a factual question. Facts. Facts means information. Okay. So questions which seek information is called factual question. Remember like that. Okay. The question which by its content structure or wordings lead the respondent in the direction of a certain answer is called, it is called as leading question. So the question which by its content structure or wordings, so in the question only answer is there. So the question which by its content structure or wordings lead the respondent in the direction of a certain answer is called a leading question. The aggregate of all the units pertaining to a study is called population or universe. Population or universe. The aggregate of all the units pertaining to a study is called as a population or universe. A member of the population is called a element. A member of the population is called what? It is called as element. Sample value is called. Sample value is called what? It is a statistic. Sample value, sample and statistic. Okay, sample value is called statistic. Population value is called, it is called as a parameter. So population, parameter, static, sample. Remember like that. Okay. So sample value is called a static, population value is called as parameter. And here a member of the population is called element. Probability sampling is otherwise called, it is a univariate analysis. Probability sampling is otherwise called univariate analysis. Sampling which provides for a non-zero chance of selection is probability sampling. So what do you mean by probability sampling? That provides for a non-zero chance of selection. Provides for a non-zero chance of selection. An example of probability sampling is a lottery method. Lottery method, an example for probability sampling. So remember like that. So lottery we can take. We know that lottery we can take, but we cannot choose. We cannot. We don't have a chance to selection. Okay, no non-zero chance of selection. So an example of probability sampling is lottery method. And next is a dash are used for random sample when the population is very large. So what is that? Dash are used for random sample. Computer, okay, computers are used for random sample when the population is very large. In which sample population is divided into different strata and sample is taken from a different strata. So in which sample they will do like that, divided into different strata and sample is taken from different strata. So that is a stratified sampling. So in stratified sampling, they will divide into a different strata and from that different strata, they will take the sample, okay, from each strata. So drawing a sample from each stratum in the proportion to the lattice share in the total population is called. So drawing a sample. First drawing a sample from each strata. They have divided, right? So that division, they are taking a sample from each strata. Okay. The after drawing the sample from each strata in the proportion to lattice share, okay, so equally proportion to lattice share in the total population. So out of total population they are making the proportion, that is called as what? It is called as proportioned stratified sampling. Selecting sample units in just a hit and miss fashion is called, that is called as a convenience or accidental sampling. Randomly selecting, okay, that is a not proportionally. Selecting a sample units in just a hit and miss fashion is called convenience or accidental sampling. A technique of building up a list or sample of a special population by using an initial set of members as informants is called, that is called snowball sampling. So what is a snowball sampling? A technique of building up a list or sample of special population. For example, if they are talented, like that, okay, special cases. So in the classrooms, or if you take one classrooms, we will divide into average students, medium students and extraordinary students, like that, okay. So they divide into a like that special population. So list or a sample of special population, a technique of building up a list or sample of special population by using an initial set of members as informants, that is called as what? It is called as snowball sampling. All the physical components of the computer are collectively called. So all the physical components of a computer are collectively called. It is called as what? It is called as a hardware. Computer operations are through what? It is a binary digits. Okay. Computers operations are through 0 and 1. That is a binary digits. So next, office editing and dash are two types of editing in research. So what it is? Two types: office editing and the field editing are two types of editing in research. One is office, one is field. Next question is assigning numerals or other symbols to the categories or response is called, it is called as a coding. So assigning numerals or other symbols. So we are giving a code, okay, instead of writing our name, instead of, for example, A, okay, You might have studied aptitude. Instead of A, what you will write in the 1, like that. If you come to the reverse case, or like that, okay. And B, we write it as a, in numerical, it is 2, like that, okay. For alphabets, we are giving a code, some numbers we are giving, okay. So assigning numerals, it may be the numerals or it may be the any other symbol, for example like triangle or anything, okay. So symbols to the categories, okay, or response is called, it is called as what, it is called as a coding. Next is summarizing raw data and displaying them on a compact statistical tables for analysis. Is what it is a tabulation. So summarizing raw data, whatever we have collected that data, so we need to divide, okay, summarize the raw data and displaying them on what, displaying them on compact statistical tables. So for example, so some students got 50%, some students got 70%, so how many students have failed. So like that we have collected all the data and we will make into a summarize and we will display them on a compact statistical tables for analysis, okay. So that is a tabulation, okay, that is a tabulation. So in the next video we shall discuss from the 201 to 250 MCQ. So if you are, if this video is helpful for you, then subscribe channel for more updates. So here it is a channel name, that is Yashwin Creations. Subscribe channel for more updates. Thank you for watching.